Hi, folks. It's Meg Lavelle here. Welcome back to the main event. And tonight we have an amazing guest. He has got the greatest smile in professional wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Landon Kross to the stage tonight. Landon, how are you?
Good, Meg. How are you?
I'm just amazing. It's so feels amazing to see you again. It's been a
Yes,
while
it's
since
been
we
a
worked
while.
together. It has.
Yeah.
Gosh, seeing you over I haven't seen you in probably about a year, and
Yeah.
they strapped a half dozen rockets to your butt. I'm seeing.
Oh, yeah.
Things are happening for you. And guys, like I said in my first post, this young buck is going places. And if you're tuning in now, you're going to hear all about it. So, Landon, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, my name's Landon Kross. From a small town in Dalton, Massachusetts. Wrestled kind of all over the Northeast, obviously in Maine Premier Wrestling and Truly Independent Wrestling. Actually, the current TIW Berkshire champion at the moment. Yes, yes.
That
Little
is some
piece of
nice
gold.
hardware.
Yes, little first piece of gold that I've had.
That's beautiful. Congratulations on
Um,
that.
yes, thank you.
That's amazing. So,
Yes.
let's just hop right into it. Landon, tell the fans out there, where did your or when, you can also say where too, I guess. When did your love of professional wrestling begin? I know you're, like I said, you're a pretty young guy. So like when did it start for you?
So it's funny, actually. This is a pretty interesting story, actually.
We love
So,
interesting stories.
yes, yes. So growing up, I'm an only child. So me and my mother were part of a foreign exchange student program. And, every year we had a couple kids over who, were in high school and all that. And one night in 2014, one of the boys asked, could they turn on wrestling? And we had never really watched wrestling before in the household. So I was like, can I watch it? Like, I want to see what this is. I've never heard of it. And so I turned it on, and it just from the spark, like, it was the first segment was a, half-hour long promo. It even just the promo, I was hooked instantly. And here we are 12 years later, still doing it.
I love that. That is great. I love hearing like when it catches you, like
Oh, yeah.
when you know that you're immediately hooked. Like for me,
Hmm.
and I know the fans have heard this a million times from me, but I will not stop talking about her as soon as I saw China up on the screen back in the early Attitude Era days in the late
Yes.
90s. That's what got it for me because I was like, wow, girls can do this too. I'm in. So I just shared who got me hooked in the wrestling. Landon, who was that first wrestler that really like grabbed your attention?
You know, it, it's hard to think about that because there was no real one wrestler that hooked me on. I was kind of interested in everybody. Um, and I think the first wrestler I really grasped onto was, and it's so funny looking back at this now, back in early 2015 when Bray Wyatt started feuding with The Undertaker.
Oh,
I
yeah,
had
it's
no
an
idea who
amazing
The
feud.
Undertaker was, which is crazy to think about now. I had no
Right.
idea who The Undertaker was. Um, and just seeing the promos and all that stuff about him, I just got hooked to The Undertaker. So I would say Undertaker was the first person I really hooked on to. Um, but yeah, it's just crazy to think about. I never knew who The Undertaker was before that.
That's okay. We all have to start somewhere. I mean, Undertaker was pretty big um when I first started watching wrestling myself.
Hmm.
And you got like that's the cool part about the Undertaker that you brought him up. He has wrestled for so long that like my husband has a version of the Undertaker. I have a version of the Undertaker. You know what I mean? Like so many different
Yeah.
eras that he has been part of, like I remember my husband was talking about, the premiere of the Undertaker,
Hmm.
and then like I said, I had him during the Attitude Era where he was like part of the Ministry and the
Ministry. Yeah.
the really dark side of the Undertaker, which I, still to this day get the chills over just thinking about, but I mean, it's so neat. So you probably had did you have like American Badass Undertaker, like motorcycle
So
taker?
my first look at Undertaker was when it was after his WrestleMania loss to Lesnar.
Oof.
So that kind of end of the Dead Man era, which then
Okay.
started into when him and Styles started referencing like Mark Calloway. And then, the biker taker came and all that. So I kind of saw the end of, the last 5, 6 years of the career. That's the Undertaker that I grew up on. But
Right on.
obviously, watching back to Taker, seeing the debut, the biker, all the ministry, corporate ministry, all those sorts of things. And the
Actually, my
crazy thing
husband and
is,
I are currently watching we just watched something where corporate ministry had just
mhm,
begun. It was a pay-per-view, and if my
yeah.
husband is watching, I'm sorry I forgot the title, but it's always part of our, like, Valentine's Day thing we watch. I think it was the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, I
Oh,
believe.
yeah.
Yes, that's it, that's the one. We always watch that pay-per-view religiously every Valentine's Day because 'cause we're weird and we love wrestling, and there's
Hey,
nothing
that's
wrong
okay.
with that.
No, not
Exactly.
at all.
You mentioned Bray Wyatt. I think it's funny because actually I thought about this morning, getting ready for this interview. So we both have love for Bray Wyatt, like a shared
Hmm.
love for the late Bray Wyatt. I just
Yes.
realized we both own. Uh, Fun fact about Landon Cross and I, folks, we're both cat people. Um, so I have a cat named Bray, and you have a cat named
Hmm.
Wyndham,
Yes.
which is that's classic. I love that.
Yes.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
so
it was one of those things just, looking at the cat, Wyndham
he's
just,
so classy
clicked, but
looking too, I love it, he's adorable.
yeah. And I
Um,
still remember, rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. I still remember finding out about his passing. I was actually
mhm,
at wrestling training when I found out.
yeah.
We were just getting ready to start class, and then, one of the other people was like, "Hey, Bray Wyatt just died." And the whole class was silent for a good 5, 10 minutes. It was surreal. Like you could not believe it.
Yeah, I know, I was working concert security at the waterfront concert series that we have up here in Bangor, Maine, and
Hmm.
I remember I left work early because I my phone was blowing up in my pocket. Obviously, when you're working security detail, you can't, take your phone out and do stuff because, you have to,
Yep.
you know, do the security thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, obviously something's going on. So I just took a quick glimpse and just saw messages from fellow wrestling friends of mine informing me about Bray because Bray Wyatt's one of my favorite all-time wrestlers as well.
Yes, me
So
too.
it's just like, yep, I'm leaving. Like, I mean, it was towards the end of the night anyways, and it was probably, I think it was like Nickelback or something ridiculous that I didn't
Hmm.
really care about. So I was like, okay, I'm done. But
Yeah.
yeah. So Landon, this is what we call a super squirrel moment. This is where I go off and we go off with our guests and stuff. So
Yeah.
welcome. So all right. So how long have you been in the professional wrestling industry?
So, you know, it's well known that I turned 21 last July. I
Mhm.
had a match on my birthday. I've been in the business for 7 years now.
That's
Um,
wild.
Yeah, I started Truly Independent Wrestling, obviously, is like my home company. I started working for them when I, you know, turned 15. And I started doing security and then ring crew, and then it became cameraman, referee, wrestler, all the above. So yeah, been in the business for 7 years working.
And I mean, you've really been in the business then by the sounds. I knew that you've had some like behind the scenes involvement, but I did not realize that you literally started like I don't want to say from the bottom because like we're all parts of the machine, is how I like to
Yes.
say it. But like so you've kind of you're like the jack of all trades then as far as being in the wrestling industry goes. So like you did all the other parts and now you are on the main stage. You're
Hmm.
killing it,
And I still
obviously.
do all the other parts too.
I think that's
You
great.
know, there's
Being part of the wrestling industry, it's fun to have your hand in a bunch of things. You know, there are wrestlers out there, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm talking smack here, but there are wrestlers out there that are like, yes, I'll show up for call time, but I'm not setting the ring up. Like, I've
Mm.
worked with you, Landon, and you're an amazing worker. You promote the show
Oh,
before
thank
the,
you.
before the show. You're welcome. You helped with ring setup, setting up chairs. Because I believe the first show that I ever worked with you on was out at the Indian Island bingo hall, and that place is massive. So you were lugging in
Yeah.
chairs, helping with the ring setup. You and your
Hmm.
amazing mom, Jackie, were setting up your, I'm sorry, I'm a mark for Landon Kross's mom. Sorry, not sorry. Jackie, hi, love you, miss you. But like you were there helping your mom set up your merch table, make sure everything was in order. I believe um like you and Taylor One Shot came up together, I believe,
Yes,
that
yes, we
show. So
did.
you guys were like, I have nothing bad to say about you, and even if I did, I couldn't even say it. Yeah.
Oh,
So
thank you, Meg.
no, you're welcome. So that's really cool. I like the fact that you started out like, like doing the smaller jobs, and then now like you are, doing the job that you deserve to be doing, and that's wrestling. And I absolutely love that for you. Um,
Thank you.
so you've had some experience with different promotions, different companies. Who would be like your all-time biggest flex for an opponent or someone that you've worked alongside with? Have you worked with anyone like in the bigger names, or, like, let us, what's your biggest flex? It's time to flex out.
So, oh man, I would say probably um working for TNA. Um, I've worked for them 3 times now, which was, an incredible experience. Some of them were just, behind the scenes. I've made on-screen appearances as Mustafa Ali's, what is it? Secret Service.
Yes, I remember
Um,
that.
yeah, TNA Under Siege 2024. And then the following 2 weeks of Impact Television. Did a behind the scenes with Big Con, Steph Delander, and Alan Angels during his what is it, the mic check he did.
Oh, right on.
Um, so yeah, and then did a backstage security segment with Steve Macklin, Rhino, and Santino Morella, which we have a hilarious story for that one.
Oh, yeah.
So Santino has a wonderful Italian accent.
Yup.
So he had called Steve Macklin Bob Macklin, but Rhino
Yes.
had thought he said Bob Backlund. So Rhino strip looks Bob Backlund, and everybody in the room just started busting laughing. It was it was an incredible moment, and it just shows like the lightheartedness of everybody, and it was such a fun moment. Santino, of course, is like one of the funniest people of all time. Like,
I believe it was, sorry, his daughter is also wrestling. My
yeah,
husband was
Ariana
telling
Grande.
me this, I think it was a pay-per-view or something this past weekend, and she brought out the Cobra, or
Yes.
yes. And I'm just like, ugh, and I missed it. I'm a huge sucker for um, various generation wrestlers, like, like father and son teams, father and daughter teams. And watching, like, okay, witnessed a little over a month ago, I went to the Limitless Rumble. Yes, guys, I won't shut up about it. I don't care to shut up about it. It was amazing, but I got to witness Hook from AEW win a match using the Taz mission.
Yes.
And it was beautiful. He also pulled out obviously a handful more of um Taz's moves, dad's moves. Also too, watching Scotty Too Hottie and his son Keegan, I believe.
Yeah, Keegan Garland, yep.
That's it. Okay. I'm like, I think it's Keegan. I
Yes.
am horrible with remembering things like that. But watching them do the Too Cool dance with Ace Romero,
Oh my God, I
it
love
brought
that.
me back to the 2000 Royal Rumble. Love it.
Yes.
Um, but that's cool. I love that you have those fun stories and moments with Santina Marella and Rhino, which is funny because our last guest that we had on, Ethan Scott, is actually a huge Rhino fan. So
Oh,
yeah, like I don't know. I didn't follow him much, but I've seen him throughout my, rewatching of WWE and
hmm
whatnot. My husband is trying to get me like a master's degree in wrestling 101, and I'm almost there. Um
there you go.
so yeah, I was gonna say my biggest flex, I think, would have to be like I said, guys, I have a mile long list of flexes. Landon and I have both had the opportunity to work for an amazing company called Main Premier Wrestling. If you guys haven't checked them out, you need to. We have a YouTube channel,
Absolutely.
we have a Facebook channel. Neil Day is actually the promoter, has done an amazing job bringing in some phenomenal talents into the great state of Maine that you wouldn't really expect to see up in these parts, but between him and Randy Carver of Limitless Wrestling, like they know what's up. And anyways, probably one of my most favorite talents I've worked for so far is hot up and coming guy in the scene, Cruel.
Mm,
MLW champion. He's actually on his going to be coming up here, I believe, next weekend or this weekend for a Limitless Wrestling show, which I'm excited to hear how that goes. Cruel was one of the most amazing and most terrifying talents to ever work with. Were you at that show, Landon?
yes, I was.
Yes, where
That
I
was the
thought
show
my
with
husband literally died.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I was like, "Oh my gosh." My husband
Mhm.
just went toe to toe with him, and my husband is all of probably 5'8", and if you've seen Cruel, he's all of
Yeah,
like
he's
eight
up
foot
there.
five. No, he's massive. Um, but one of the best talents ever that I've had the pleasure and honor of working with, and you
Mm,
also have been on the same show with him.
yes.
It was great. That was an interesting show, honestly. I
Yeah.
believe that was our anniversary show for MPW.
I believe it was actually the show before that.
Oh, yes, yes, that's right. That's correct because our
Yes,
anniversary
because
show
that
would
was
have.
the same show that Eugene was also at.
Yes. Another fun flex for the both of us. Double fun flex. Like he was so funny. So funny. And all he wanted to do while he was up here is drink cold beer and eat a steak dinner. And we made sure that happened for him. But yeah, I have some funny stories about that guy, but we will save those for another time because I want to get more into this here. Um so here's a like Barbara Walters-esque question for you. One with some deep thought. Would you change anything from when you first started in this business up until this very moment?
I would have to say no.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer of everything happens for a reason. Um, like I mentioned earlier, starting kind of like you said from the bottom up, ring crew, camera, everything led to something else, and it helped create the story of Landon Cross because like my debut in TIW was a refs 5v5 refs versus wrestlers match, and I was on the
I
referees team.
I rewatched that. That was really good.
Yes, and that was my first like big moment in my career and just stepping in and doing reffing. My first match that I ever refereed was the 2022 TIW Rumble, and I entered number 7. Now, I didn't do great. But but still, like my first match was the first match I also refereed. And then, it just became full circle. So, everything in my career has always happened for a reason. So I'm a firm believer of that.
So, were you reffing and then number 7 popped up and you're just like, "Oh, that's my turn," and you just hopped in? Or
Yeah, so there was some travel issues. So the person who was supposed to be number 7 couldn't make it to the show. And talk about right place, right time.
Right.
Um, CJ Scott, the owner of TIW, owe him like everything of my career. Um, I was getting ready to walk through the curtain to be out for the Rumble, and he said, "Hey, I know you've been training. We need a number 7. You're in." And I went, "What?" And so I'm walking out to ref my first match, and lo and behold, number 7 came, ripped off the ref shirt, had the TIW shirt underneath, and slide in and got thrown right out.
I was gonna say I've been to a few wrestling shows where they've had rumbles and all of a sudden they're like entry number, 12, and then you just hear this music and you're like, who the hell is this guy? And then here comes the referee taking his shirt off and, climbing in. I believe
Yeah.
Eric Greenleaf, Maine's favorite referee, up
Yeah.
here, did that in a rumble, and I remember it was quite hilarious because I'm just like, wait, hold on a second. I didn't know they could do that. But they can. Anything is
Hey,
possible in wrestling.
every person for themselves. That's what they say. So,
Exactly. Someone made it was the company that I manage for Phoenix Pro Wrestling up here in
mhm.
Bangor, and they said something like I did my first like show and I managed like 3 or 4 matches. So like over half the card, I'm like, "Okay, cool. Here I go again to catch some heat," It was whatever. It was a blast.
Yeah.
But the owner was like, "Haha, you can do rumbles now." And I'm like, No? Like, I can barely get underneath the bottom rope, let alone going over the top rope. The top rope comes up to, like, my chin. I'm so short. How's that gonna work? Like, it's
Right?
not.
Get some momentum and
Yeah, get some momentum. Jeez
yeah.
Louise. So silly. So folks, right now, I just wanna take a moment to let you know if you are tuned in right now, muster up some questions for us. Landon's an amazing guest. Let's pepper him with some questions. You got questions for me? You got questions for him? Questions for us? Let's hear them. Put them in the comments section. We'll answer them here shortly. Um, so all right. This question kind of sounds more like some of the ones in the earlier part, but this business is like it's a very well layered business, to be honest with you. So,
Yeah.
what sparked your interest and getting into professional wrestling? Like, what made it click that you were like, "I'm doing it. Like, I'm gonna go sign up for classes. I'm gonna do the thing. I want to be a wrestler."
Um, so I think it was attending my first TIW show again. So 2017, July 15th, 2017, I remember the day exactly. It was 10 days after my 13th birthday. Um, TIW had their first show at the Berkshire Mall. And that was my first show for TIW. And just being in the atmosphere, just it just resonated with me. Something told me like, I don't care how I'm in this, I want to be in it. Whether it's a wrestler, ring announcer, referee, um, I knew I had to be in it one way or another. And it's just kind of became my life, and I didn't know what else to do with my life other than wrestling. So I was like, this has got to be it. So
I love that. Like, this just has to be it. This is my life. Um,
yes.
yeah, I mean, it's funny how professional wrestling, like, once you like even dip your toe into the business, it just sucks you right in.
Oh
Um,
yeah, it's addicting.
it really is. Like, I started off just I married my favorite wrestler. I married John
Hmm.
Maine's own Johnny Primer. I married him. I did the wrestler's wife thing, and then we were at a show that he was on, and they're like, "We don't have a ring announcer," and I'm like, "I live 5 minutes away. I own some nice dresses. Write stuff I need to say on a piece of paper," and that was it. And I ended
Yeah.
up working with Tony Atlas my first ever night.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was quite interesting.
Yeah. And then it led you to a wonderful ring announcer from Mr. Kennedy himself.
Oh my, that's probably my top favorite flex ever. And you, um, Vaughn Taggart of Crown of Maine Wrestling, who's going to be on here next month as a
Ooh.
guest. Yeah, I'm so excited. Vaughn has been wanting to come on my podcast for a while, and I took like a year-long hiatus. So he was one of the first people that I reached out to because I'm just like, dude, I owe you a podcast. Like, would you like to come on? But
Mhm.
I believe it was you and your mom, Vaughn. I believe those were the two key videos because no one out of all the footage that we got, like no one caught me doing the iconic Mr. Kennedy introduction. Sorry folks. I'm going to talk about it again. I know I talked about it last episode. If you don't like it,
Hey,
mute
it's a
me.
big moment for you.
No, it was so much fun, but like you got a good video. Vaughn got a really good video like of Kennedy's reacting along to me. It was an interesting ride home because we also had to bring Kennedy back to the airport, or Mr.
Oh yeah.
Anderson back to the airport. Um, so that was really something for sure. And yeah, no, I appreciate your kind words. I've always wanted to be in the wrestling business myself, but I didn't know how. And it took someone not showing up for a company and my husband being like, go home, go get stuff for me to,
Mhm.
dive in. And then, as you know, my husband had to retire due to post concussion syndrome, which is a huge deal in the professional wrestling industry.
Yeah.
If you are showing any signs of, you know, head distress, anything like that, folks, please don't sleep on it. Literally go get yourself checked out. It could literally save your life like it did my husband. He wrestled for 20 years. So during like his last year, we did as many promotions as we could possibly get booked for. And there was one promotion called Ring Wars, which is still going. And it's a great little show that happens up here quite often. Um, I remember my husband was booked for Ring Wars and he goes, "Nope, my wife needs to manage me." And I'm like, "I'm doing what?" And he goes, "Be a bitch to Eric Johnson, take the mic from Ethan Scott, be a bad guy, message, just manage me." So I did. And that started a whole new rabbit hole of addiction as far as managing goes. But yeah, no, it's a fun business to dabble in, like you could be a cool ref like one moment, like for you, you were a security guard for or Secret Service for Mustafa Ali. I mean, that's amazing. You got
Yeah.
for only being 21 years old, you have quite the resume.
Thank you. Yes. And
Yeah.
I mean, you're a great ring announcer too, which
Mhm.
speaking of, that I wanted to mention, those who don't know, I obviously have a custom theme song. And in my song is a reference to Meg Lavelle, when you introduced me with the greatest smile in pro wrestling.
Oh,
The lyric, with a smile so grand is in dedication to you. So I wanted to thank you for that great introduction you had in mind.
stop it.
Not
So
to make you cry.
no, it's okay. It's dry in here. No, and I'm blushing now. Jeez.
Is Primer cutting the
So
onions?
low key, yeah, someone's cutting onions and they need to stop. There's dust in here. No. All kidding aside though, someone that we really have to thank though for that, even that mere suggestion of the greatest smile in pro wrestling would have to be Black Rose of
Yes.
Dynasty. I was doing my thing, I was announcing, it was the same show with Cruel and Eugene. I hear
Mm-hmm.
this, hey Meg, from the curtain, and hey, and I'm like, so I look and I open the curtain, and there's Rose. Hey yo, you should say he got the greatest smile in professional wrestling. And I'm like, I love that. I'm using it. And then your match was like the next one out the gate. So I'm just like, here we go. Let's do it, And it really has stuck. Like I
Yeah.
think that's great. Um Now I'm gonna have to add I'm part of someone's entrance music as a flex. Actually, I was talking to Ethan Scott about that too, and he goes, "That's really fun, cool." So,
Yes.
anyways, so I feel like we've covered a lot of these questions stories, and it's just so sorry folks if it seems like we're repeating ourselves a little bit. Um what would be, let's see here. Actually, look, we have a question in the comments. Finally,
Okay.
we got one. And oh, it's from MPW's own Ref Mo Tardy.
Oh,
Landon, what was your favorite match you ever wrestled?
favorite match. Thanks, Mo. God,
He got
favorite
you.
match. It's hard to pick just one. I know Mo. I think Mo's wrestled or refed every single one of my MPW matches. So thank you, Mo, for being my ref.
Yeah.
Um, but oh man, I hate to have recent bias, but I think my match recently against Sean Phoenix, when I won the TIW Berkshire Championship, I think there was just a lot of emotion going into it, and just like, I had to do it for the fans and everybody in attendance. My big thing was bringing the Berkshire Championship back to Berkshire County. So I think, it's recently biased, but it's hard to pick with just one match. So,
Mo Tardy, please come back.
oh,
Please come back. Dude, we would love
I
to
I
have
would,
you come back.
yeah, I would love to come back to the state of Maine. I can't say anything negative about my time in Maine. It was a really great time. I loved everybody I worked with. So maybe we'll see Landon Cross back in Maine up one day.
We would love that. So Phoenix Pro Wrestling, NAWA, Let's Wrestle, and Main Premier Wrestling. And you know what? We'll throw Ring Wars in there too. Book my boy Landon Cross. He's an amazing worker. And I mean, come on, who wouldn't want that great smile all over their posters? So, all right, all right. So I'm gonna throw a curveball question at you, just because I
Okay.
can, and I'm a super squirrel. Your girl, the super squirrel. Um, so winning the TIW Berkshire Championship. Tell me, as soon as that bell rang, after that 3 count, that bell rang. What went like? Tell me, how did it feel knowing that you just won your first ever singles title and one of such importance?
Um, man, it's hard to put in words exactly. Um,
I can only
I
imagine.
mean, what's that?
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it was, I actually also debuted a new move, it's my secret weapon, the crossbow, um, which is a variation of the Rings of Saturn. And once he said I quit, it was like, huh? There's the photo that goes around of my eyes just bugged out. You've probably seen it in one of these multiple pics in the background.
Yes.
Um, but it was almost I couldn't believe it moment. Just working so hard to get to this spot. I remember I was at the show when the Berkshire Championship was debuted. Um, and it's been the same exact title all those years. Should probably pull it out, you know. Um,
Yeah,
it's
you
been the
earned the
same title.
hardware.
Yes, right. It's been the same title for all the years, and the lineage of this title, so many great people have held it. And Sean Phoenix is one of my favorite opponents. I mean, we hate each other. But I had so much fun, and we had such great matches that it made it all so special. And it was actually Sean Phoenix's last match in TIW too, so that made it a little bit more surreal. I didn't know that till after the fact. So yeah, it's just, it's one of those things to hard to put into words, but coming up on February 28th, I do have my first title defense against Chef Caden Leduc, as you can actually see right there.
Yes.
Perfect timing. So, yeah, looking to get the first defense out of my way.
That's amazing. And I also see in the corner of your video there, is that the first time you debuted at Main Premier Wrestling for the King of New England?
Yes,
That
that
was your
is the
debut with MPW.
yes,
That's
yes.
amazing.
And actually, ironic this is all happening. That oops, this photo was from my first singles match when I
Wow.
didn't even really have a name. I didn't have a theme song. I found one on the fly by a local New York band called AMH, Adam and the Metal Hawks. Um, so it was, that night was crazy. But yeah,
So wasn't that King of New England Rumble, the Psycho Mark Allen Battle Royale? Holy crap.
yes.
I've never announced anything that insane before in my life, and I couldn't see the projection screen.
Oh
So I
no.
couldn't see the, and then fans were just staring at me like, "Why aren't you counting?" And it's like, "I don't know." And then music would hit and wrestlers wouldn't come out, or it was just it was pure insanity, but, like, at the end of the night, it was probably one of the best, if not the best shows that we have ever had, and I'm
Yeah.
just so glad that you
Packed
were able to
crowd
be.
that night too.
What?
Packed crowd that night too.
That was We always have a really decent crowd,
Yeah.
at the Indian Island Bingo Hall, out in on Indian Island, Maine. Our first show there was 316 people. Like, that was insane, but we had
Yeah.
Tatanka, WWE
Austin
Tatanka.
316.
Yeah, right, and it was on the date was 316.
Oh, that's perfect.
So, 316 people on 316. It was
It writes
amazing,
itself.
right? It does. Brian Garrett Jr., yes. I just love Maine wrestling too. Shout out to you, but he's like one of our number one fans up here in the area. Brian, we love you. Thank you so much for following us. Um, it's true though, Maine wrestling is its own special breed. And mind you, I haven't
It
gone
is.
out of state to experience like shows like out in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New York. We have so many amazing friends, like mutual friends that work for all those companies. Like we have you at TIW, we have Lou Jacobson, Cindy Hart out at OWR. We have
Hmm.
Taylor One Shot, who also does the Wrestling with Pride podcast, part of the Friends of the Squared Circle Network. Taylor, we love you. I want to be on your show. Um, anyways, and then we have an amazing group of friends out at Dynasty in New York. Taylor
Yes.
One Shot, Layla James, everybody,
Black
Black
Rose.
Rose. Love that guy is amazing. Love, love, love Black
Yes.
Rose. And I remember one of the first ever wrestling shows I went to up here locally. He was on the card. And it was up here
Mm,
IWE in Maine. My husband was still wrestling at the time. He was like party boy Johnny Primer. It was a scene. It was a choice. But gimmicks are for that reason, for you to just have fun with it.
absolutely.
Yeah. So needless to say, the TIW championship is probably one of the biggest accomplishments that you have done throughout your career, if not the biggest.
Absolutely. Yeah. And obviously, still young, so there's still more to come, but I will always remember the first title win. So,
Absolutely. Yes. That's I was gonna say I have friends and guys, like, you guys need to watch this match. I'm gonna have to like flag down a copy of it. Um Guys, we all sorry. I know it's Landon's episode, but yeah, who doesn't remember, like I said, who doesn't remember Party Johnny Primer? It was a choice and a half, but it was a good choice and a half because, well, I ended up marrying him. So,
there you go.
anyways, I wouldn't be in this business and I wouldn't have amazing friends like Landon Kross here tonight, if it wasn't for that guy. So, thanks, John, for that, making me a mark to Mrs. Situation. So gosh, like, who would be and you could have multiples too. There's never no like one specific answer to a question in my world. Bucket list promotion to work for.
Mm,
Like aside from like WWE obviously, or well, AEW could also be counted in that I guess as well, but who would be your bucket list promotion?
Oh man. Honestly, I would love to wrestle for all of them.
As many
Uh,
as you can get your hands on.
Absolutely. I mean, I've wrestled for a handful already. I've refereed for like Blitzkrieg Pro. I would love to actually step in the ring. Obviously, there's the bigger independent promotions like Limitless, Wrestling Open, Beyond, all those sorts of companies that, I would love to be part of. But, even like you mentioned earlier, Phoenix Pro, the main companies, Vermont companies, if you're in California, if you're even in the United Kingdom, just any company, really.
Whoa. Landon Kross wants to go global, guys. You hearing this right now? Make it happen. He's
Yes,
a young buck that wants to go places. Let's make it happen. Like, share this guy's information. Book my friend. Like, I'm a
yes,
big mark for all my friends in this business. Like, and I don't care. MJF makes it sound like being a mark is a bad thing, but I'm a mark and I'm proud. Okay. I'm a mark for all my friends. I'm here to support all my friends in this business. Like I said, Landon's an amazing worker, and it just to put this if you have the opportunity to put this to book this man, book him. You will regret nothing. And if you do, come at me. Like, you know what I mean? But you won't be because you won't be
I
disappointed.
appreciate that.
Yeah, no, not a problem, man. Like if we see something good in the world, like boast about it. Um Mo Tardy, he's a mark with me. Yes.
Yes.
I make the joke, Mo Tardy and I are mark buddies when we go to shows that have like big names on them. Like when we were at the Limitless Rumble, we're both backstage and he's like, look, it's Hook. Hook's eating a sandwich up in the stands. And it's like, you're such a freaking mark. Like, you know what I mean? So, but it's funny because I was literally standing beside MJF backstage, like
Hmm.
like a foot away from him. And I was just sitting there like, don't mark out, don't mark out. And
Yeah.
then
It,
the main event's first ever guest, the damsel Daphne DeVille
mm,
was off in the distance getting promo photos taken, and it was literally like I was like, "Yep, F MJF. I'm all about this young lady right here because she's got an amazing story. If you haven't looked her up, please do. The
yes.
damsel Daphne DeVille,
She
Limitless
is amazing.
Wrestling, Chef's Kiss. Like it was amazing. Like it was the return that this young lady deserved. So,
Absolutely.
um, so we are at it's about closing time here, folks. If you have any last minute questions for Landon or myself, please don't hesitate to throw them in the comments really quick and we can get to them. Um, so, Landon, what would you like your future in this business to look like?
Hmm. I mean, I want to leave a positive impact on the wrestling world. Um, like I said earlier, I want to help out wherever I can, do anything, if there's a spot open, and you need somebody, I don't care if I have to throw on a mask or whatever, like I'll be there. I'll help you out. I want to be a positive impact in the pro wrestling world because obviously, there can be some negatives. Um, you know, Unfortunately, it's wrestling, it's life, but I just want to be that positive impact and be there and support everybody. Obviously, when my in-ring days are over, which don't plan that for a long time. But like I want to like be a producer. I want to be commentator. If I can referee, I want to referee. Like I don't see myself ever leaving pro wrestling. I will always want to have my hand on it one way or another.
Mm. And if podcasting is still a thing when you decide to step away physically from wrestling, hi, if I'm still kicking around, let me know. I can get you your own podcast. We can do the thing. We can host one together.
Yeah.
It'd be great. That's actually something my husband's going to be doing. That's right, folks. I Next week we have the premiere of the newest addition to Friends of the Squared Circle, Prime Time with Legends with your host, Johnny Primer. Get excited about that one, folks. This is going to be, I'm actually really excited about this one just because of the
Mhm.
sheer fact that we're going different here. We are going with main legends or legends in professional wrestling. Um, you know, on a guy, hosted by a man that's seen it all, that's done it all, a man with over 20 years in the business. So I'm actually anxious and excited to hear the stories from the road and whatnot. So, folks, tune in, stay tuned for that.
I'll be tuning in.
All right, hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. I forgot I had my messenger attached to this laptop, so work just dinged in for a second. Sorry about that,
Oh,
folks. Teacher life.
yes.
So that's amazing. I love hearing that. Like, like you said, the world of professional wrestling, guys, it's not all, sunshine and rainbows. You know what I mean? There is negative and darker aspects of it. I mean, hell, they made Dark Side of the Ring for a reason.
Yeah.
Which, and I love the fact that Landon, you are willing to be a light in this industry, which we need. Um,
Hmm.
I also I kind of have the same values. Like, we are here to set the tone. You know what I mean?
Yes.
For the show. If you're going to come in and have a crap attitude and no personality, forget about it. Like, why even show up? You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
yeah, I might be just a ring announcer, but I make sure that I get the folks excited
Oh
for the
yeah.
talent that's going to amp them up even more. Like,
Yeah.
who's going to want to go to the bathroom and get popcorn when you just hear this guy's got the best smile in professional wrestling? But I'm going to sit my butt down. I'm
Yeah.
gonna watch the show. Um, so um, let's see here. Oh, let's see here. We have a fan saying thanks. Landon rocks. He does, guys. He really does. Thanks, Doug, for the shout out for our friend Landon here.
What up? What
Folks,
up?
so at the end, we are at the end of our podcast here. Really quick, please don't hesitate to follow the Friends of the Squared Circle if you have not already, anyways, and follow our other podcasts underneath the Friends of the Squared Circle network: Wrestling with Pride, Primetime with Legends, and the main event with yours truly, Meg Lavelle. Um, so, Landon, obviously, we are a social media world. Where can all of our amazing fans become a fan of you?
So I am mostly active on Facebook, under Landon Kross, obviously. You can also find me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok under Landon Cross underscore wrestling, if I can speak. So yes, Landon Cross underscore wrestling. I post every single one of my matches on YouTube, so if you ever need to watch my matches, are right on there for you. And
Absolutely,
then
folks.
yes, then Instagram and TikTok, I'm active on both of them, but Facebook is where you can find most of my stuff.
Right on. I need to be better about doing the whole Instagram thing. And, folks, yes, I'm still working on getting a YouTube channel put together. Because let's face it, the life's busy, and I'm your girl, the super squirrel. So, it is what it is. However, folks, I would like to just take a brief moment to thank from the bottom of my heart, Landon Cross. Thank you for coming on tonight. Um, it has been an honor having you on as a guest. And if you would love to see Landon Cross come back, folks, blow the comments up, share this episode, make it go viral. Um, let's keep the word out there about not only this amazing podcast, but the amazing talent that we have on it. Um, so, folks, again, thank you, Landon, so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure having you. And, folks, remember, when you're here, you're the main event. I'm Meg Lavelle, and I'll see you soon.